let's talk about something many of us love, that warm, buttery pastry in the morning. It feels like a simple pleasure, right? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain on how that daily habit, especially once you're over 60, might be quietly working against your health. Now, I know that sounds incredibly dramatic, but there's some serious metabolic truth packed into that statement. And let's be clear, this isn't about shaming anyone's choices. It's about understanding what's really happening inside your body when that pastry becomes a daily ritual. To make this real, let's think about someone like Marcel. He's 67. For him, that daily croissant is everything. It's a comfort, a routine, a little reward he feels he's earned in retirement. But here's the thing. What Marcel doesn't realize is that his comforting habit is basically a metabolic time bomb, ticking away and putting a ton of stress on his body. So what makes this habit so, deceptive? Let's break down what happens in your body right from that very first bite. You can think of it as a metabolic tsunami. The moment you eat it, a huge wave of refined flour and sugar hits your system. Boom. Your blood sugar shoots through the roof. In response, your pancreas panics and works overtime, flooding your body with insulin to try and control the surge. Now imagine that happening every single day. Eventually, your body's cells just get exhausted and start ignoring the insulin. That's a condition called insulin resistance. And folks, it's the main highway to developing type 2 diabetes. So that's the immediate shock. But the real danger, the truly sneaky part, is what happens over the long haul. This daily cycle kicks off a silent reaction in your body that leads to chronic, lasting damage. And look, this isn't just a theory. A huge study from INSERM, which is France's National Institute of Health, actually put a number on it. They found that retirees who have that daily pastry habit have a 34% higher risk of developing metabolic disorders. 34%. That is a massive, measurable risk from just one part of breakfast. So how does this damage actually happen? Well, scientists have a really great word for it: inflammaging. It's this low-grade, constant inflammation that's always simmering in the background, kind of like a fire that never goes out. And it's fueled by things like sugar and unhealthy fats. You don't feel it like a sprained ankle, but it's there, accelerating how fast your cells get old. And this inflammaging thing, it creates a huge domino effect. It's not just about blood sugar. It puts your liver under stress as it tries to process all those low-quality fats. It can start to thicken the walls of your arteries, which pushes your blood pressure up. It messes with the good bacteria in your gut, which weakens your immune system. And get this, it can even impact your mental health, adding to feelings of anxiety and depression. It's a true whole-body issue. Okay, so if the science is so clear, why on earth is this habit so hard to break? That's a great question. And the answer has less to do with our stomachs and more to do with our heads. We've got to understand the powerful psychological grip these things have on us. For so many of us, a pastry is way more than just food, isn't it? It's that friendly morning trip to the bakery, a social ritual. It's emotional comfort, that little hit of dopamine that just makes you feel good. Especially in retirement, it can feel like a well-deserved reward for a lifetime of hard work. And honestly, in the wide-open freedom of retirement, it can be a comforting, predictable part of your day. This brings us to a really important question, and it's one I want you to ask yourself. When you reach for that morning pastry, what need are you really trying to fill? Is it just hunger? Or is it something else? A need for comfort, for routine, for a little bit of joy. Figuring out your why is the first, most powerful step to changing the what. All right, enough about the problem. Let's talk about the fun part, the solutions. This isn't about depriving yourself at all. It's about reinventing your morning. It's about building a breakfast that is genuinely delicious and gives you energy for the day. I mean, just look at the difference. It's a total breakfast battle. On one side, you've got the pastry, full of refined flour, sugar, and bad fats, which we all know leads to that awful mid-morning energy crash. But on the other side, you have a breakfast built on quality protein, fiber, and healthy fats. The result? Not a crash. You get smooth, sustained energy that actually lasts. So what does that look like? Okay, how about this for an alternative? The power-up. Picture a slice of hearty whole grain bread, topped with creamy mashed avocado and a perfectly poached egg. Mmm. With that, you're getting healthy fats for your heart and brain, fantastic protein to maintain your muscle mass, which is so crucial, and fiber to keep your energy stable all morning long. But what if you're craving something warm and sweet? I get it. Check this out. The antioxidant porridge. You start with a simple bowl of rolled oats, which are great for helping to regulate cholesterol. Then you top it with a handful of antioxidant-rich berries, some walnuts for those good fats, and maybe just a tiny drizzle of pure maple syrup. You get all the comfort, all the sweetness, but none of the damaging sugar spike. Okay, so we've got some delicious alternatives, but how do you actually make the switch? Let's talk about the practical steps, your actual path to making this change stick. The absolute secret here is to start small. Please don't try to be perfect overnight. That's a recipe for failure. Maybe just start by alternating days. Healthy breakfast today, your old favorite tomorrow. Make it super easy on yourself by prepping some ingredients on Sunday. And you know what? If you love that bakery trip, keep doing it. Just instead of grabbing the croissant, buy a beautiful loaf of whole grain bread. You preserve the ritual you love, you just change the food. And here's a little motivator you might not have even thought about. Your wallet. A daily croissant at, say, €1.20 adds up to over €400 a year. A healthy homemade breakfast is often way cheaper. So you're not just investing in your long-term health, you're literally saving money that you can spend on things you really enjoy. And this stuff really works. Just take a look at Marie Claude, who's 72. She swapped her pain au chocolat for avocado toast. 3 months later, she'd lost 4 kilos and says she has way more energy for her weekly hikes. That's the real prize here. It's not about what you're losing. It's about everything you stand to gain. Energy, vitality, and just a better quality of life. So I'll just leave you with this final thought. Your breakfast, it's not just the first meal of the day. It's a decision. It's a choice that sets the entire tone for your health, your energy, and your future. So the real question is, what potential will your breakfast unlock tomorrow?